Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Today's video is going to be about the best fall candles from Bath & Body Works in my opinion. I picked out my top 10 favorites and then one honorable mention. I did do a similar video with their body care last week, but I feel like the candle one is a little bit more solid. These are definitely fall scents. The body care one has a lot of gourmand scents that aren't necessarily for fall, but they work really well in the fall time. But these are all fall themed candles. This is probably my favorite time of year for candles, so I feel like the ones they put out in the fall are the best just year round in general. They put out such good scents overall throughout this season. So we're gonna start with the runner up, which is Pumpkin Snickerdoodle. Now, you guys, I love this candle. I love all of these candles. The only reason this isn't in the actual 10 is just because there's so many other really good ones. But the notes on this are warm sugar cookies, ground cinnamon, fresh nutmeg, and sprinkled with sugar. It's still warm because I burned this morning. It's so good. So now that I've been burning it recently, I remember how much the cinnamon sugar notes kind of stand out on this candle. I've been burning it in my bedroom, and when I walk in here, it just smells like a warm cinnamon sugar topping, like on a cinnamon sugar pretzel or donut. And then you get that like buttery cookie base that is in a lot of Bath & Body Works scents. It's the same base it's in Sugared Snickerdoodle. And yeah, it's just really delicious. It is very similar to Sugared Snickerdoodle. It's just the spice notes are a tiny bit different, I feel. This one gives you more of the like pumpkin spice fall, and the Sugared Snickerdoodle is a little bit more Christmassy, a little bit more buttery, I would say, than this one. This one's a little bit more spicy, but they're very similar. And yeah, it's a really good candle. Solid throw, not huge like you would think, because Sugared Snickerdoodle has a huge throw. But this one does have a solid throw, and it fills up my bedroom really well. All right, now on to the top 10. It was so hard for me to put these in order again, so kind of take the order with a grain of salt, just like I said about the body care. But number 10 is Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow. Now, I feel like when I was talking about this at the beginning of the month, when I did like a project pan for it, I didn't really do justice to how good this candle is because I haven't burned it in a year. So I kind of forgot how delicious it is when it's burning. And when you smell it on cold, you get this kind of general sweet vanilla marshmallow scent, and I compare it to, you know, vanilla bean marshmallow that comes out at Christmas time or marshmallow fluff. But there is something different about this candle. So the notes are Tahitian vanilla, pumpkin spice, homemade marshmallow, and drizzled caramel. The caramel note really sets it aside. And I don't always like caramel in candles. Sometimes I find it sickly, like caramel pumpkin swirl. I can't do that candle. It is way too sweet for me, but this, as sweet as it is, I don't find it sickly or syrupy. I find it to be the perfect, creamy, delicious, sweet scent. It's not cakey, it's not bakery, it doesn't smell like you're baking, but it's just this beautiful vanilla caramel blend, almost in the realm of like a Vanilla Bean Noel, but much stronger than the Vanilla Bean Noel candle, because the Vanilla Bean Noel candle has always been really, really light, and I don't even think I've gotten it the last few years because I can't really smell it. But Vanilla Bean Noel and the body care, if we just forget about what happened last year when you couldn't smell it at all, is a really good scent, and it's got vanilla, caramel, and marshmallow, which this has all of those scents, all of those notes. Yeah, it is delicious. There is a reason this keeps coming back. It's not as bland, I think, as I described it last time, because it just has this richness that comes from the caramel note. So I do really like this candle. All right, number 9 is a new to me candle this year. It's not new this year. It's been out in years past. It came out recently, I feel like within the last 5 years. When I say recent, that's what I mean. But this is the first year I've got it, and let me tell you, I'm loving it. This is Welcome Home. Oh my gosh, this candle, you guys. The notes are cinnamon sugar, warm apple butter, clove buds, and brown sugar. And this, to me, smells like a fall version of berry waffle cone. I said that last time too, and then when I burned it, it even more so was like that, because it just gets this warm, buttery, almost like graham crackery, crusty note to it. It does have apple butter, and that's kind of the defining scent note of it, but these like brown, sugary, bready kind of notes come out, and it's mouth-watering. is beautiful. And it's a really strong thrower too. Like I burned this out in my kitchen, which is open with the dining room, the living room. It's kind of the biggest area in my house, and I can still smell this throughout my home. I love this. The only reason it's not higher is because this is the first time I've ever burned it. I haven't gone all the way through it. You can see I've done it a couple of times, but I don't want to put it higher on the list in case it changes, because I've had candles like that I'm so impressed with, and I love on the first 1 or 2 burns and then they change. And I do get a tiny bit of a like burnt scent from this. That happens with a lot of their cookie scents, and most of the time it's not enough to make me not love it, because it doesn't get stronger. It just stays like a tiny hint of it, but mostly you get those really good scent notes. But sometimes as you burn, the actual scent of the candle goes away and you only get that burnt scent. So I hope that doesn't happen with this, but I've heard good things about it from you guys, from other reviewers, and I'm loving it so far. So that's number 9. All right, number 8 is a classic. This is pumpkin carving. This is last year's packaging. I love it. I didn't get it in this year's packaging because they still had some from last year. This was their like haunted mansion theme. It had spider webs on the lid. It's so cute. The notes on this are freshly carved pumpkin with spiced pumpkin seeds and smooth brown sugar. This one is so reliable. It is such a good candle. It's a classic. It is inoffensive. I feel like most people would like this for fall because it's a very traditional, true pumpkin scent. It doesn't smell too sweet to me. It doesn't smell like a pumpkin baked good. It smells like the pumpkin itself. Maybe with some added like cinnamon, sugar, things like that, but not bakery baked good, sweet. It's just a good, warm, delicious fall pumpkin scent. I love burning this around Halloween. They always put it in Halloween packaging too, which I feel like is perfect. And it just goes so well for that time of year. I'm definitely going to burn this a little bit next week because we are going to get some colder weather days here in Texas. We are still like in the 80s and 90s every day, but next week there's 3 days where the high is the low 70s and then the mornings we're in the 40s. I feel like this is going to be great. When the weather drops, I'm going to burn it a little bit, but yes, love this one for Halloween time. All right. One that I feel like people loved when it came out and kind of raved about, but it gets forgotten, at least by me, is white pumpkin Oakwood. So this is last year's packaging. The notes are fresh picked white pumpkin, smooth sandalwood, and spiced pear. Smooth sandalwood is the perfect description for the woody note in this. It is so smooth. There's something almost creamy about this. And I figured out what this candle reminds me of. It smells a little bit like the acorn spice scent from Mrs. Meyer's, the cleaning spray. They smell similar to me. Just this kind of woodsy fall scent that doesn't smell it doesn't smell like baked goods. It's not super sweet. It doesn't even really smell that strongly of pumpkin, but you definitely get the fall feels, a little bit of fall spices, but mostly you get this like warm, woodsy, almost nutty note. It doesn't have any nuts in it, but it's that sort of feeling, I feel like. I don't smell the pear note, like at all. It must just be there to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. But yeah, this candle, don't sleep on it. It's another one that I feel like is really inoffensive. This one, pumpkin carving, they're ones that if you burn this when you have guests over or people in your home, I feel like it's one of those that could be burning in like a shop, that when you walk in, most people are just going to feel like, wow, it smells really nice in here. It smells cozy and inviting. And I feel like you're not gonna have many people that won't like this scent. Whereas some of the ones on this list that I love, and I have higher on the list even, some people might not because they might find them too sweet. All right, coming in at number 6, we've got Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin. As you can see, I've already burned through my whole Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin for this year. We've got the pumpkins on the lid. It's super, super cute. I loved this year's packaging. The notes are warm cinnamon, fresh ground clove, vanilla cream, and brown sugar. Such a good, spicy pumpkin scent. So mine doesn't smell as strong anymore because I burned all the way to the bottom of it. But this is one of those scents that to me just smells the way fall should smell. You've got pumpkin, but you've got these really strong, delicious, spicy notes. And clove is one of my favorite notes to have in any fall candle. I also really like nutmeg. I love cinnamon. And this is such a good combo of these spices. I feel like this smells way different than the body care version of this scent. I feel like the body care version is sweeter, whereas this is spicier and you get a true like pumpkin spice scent versus the like sweetened up sugary version that's in the Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin Body Care. So I don't really like it in the body care, but I love it in the candle. Now coming in at number 5 is a candle that is very similar, and I always burn this in November. This is Pumpkin Clove. The notes are clove buds, ground cinnamon, a pinch of nutmeg, and fresh pumpkin. I love this. This to me almost reminds me of like a day at the pumpkin patch or a day at a farm. You almost get craft store or potpourri feels from this. It's just so delicious. I love pumpkin clove. And it's so good when the weather cools down and you want those just warm, rich, spicy, inviting notes. Again, this is not a bakery scent. It's not gourmand. But it is delicious. I love the spice notes in pumpkin clove. The clove is so strong, and like I said, that's one of my favorite all-time notes. There's just this like almost woodiness to it and richness to it and earthiness. This smells like Thanksgiving to me. It's an amazing candle. So if you haven't tried this, definitely try it out. I feel like it's not one that people rave about as much as it deserves. It's never the star of the show in the collections that it comes out in, but it's such a good classic candle. All right, coming in at number 4, and now we're getting into like the top 4. It's really hard for me to say the order, but they're all just amazing candles. Leaves, you guys. Leaves is so good. The notes are crisp red apple, golden nectar, and warm clove spice. This one I'm also going to be burning next week when the weather cools down. Leaves is amazing. Leaves has an apple note in it, which I usually don't like in candles. You will notice there are not many apple candles at all. This might be the only one. I think it is in this entire list. This is the only one with an apple note. I don't really like apple candles. I do like the scent of apple, but I don't really care to have it burning in my house. I much prefer gourmands or pumpkins or spices. But this, with the golden nectar note, with the spices in there too, I don't know, maybe it's because this also has clove and I'm such a clove fan, but it's so good. This one also has a kind of potpourri sort of feeling to it, but it is sweeter than pumpkin clove. And it's sweet in a fruity way because you have the apple. It's not sweet in a sugary sort of bakery like cinnamon sugar powder, that kind of sweetness. It smells like an authentic sweetened apple with nectar, and then you get a little bit of a spice, but it's so good. It's so good. It smells like fall potpourri, and it's classic, comes back every year. People love it. It's got a huge following for a reason because it's just a perfect, really well-made candle. All right, number 3 is one that came out last year, so a relatively new candle, and you guys know because everyone talks about it. This candle, Pumpkin Cinnamon Bun, so good. This could easily have been number 1 or 2, but I put it at number 3. I had such a hard time with this list, but this candle, if you like sweets, if you like gourmands, and if you like a rich cream cheese frosting note, this is amazing. So the notes are warm cinnamon roll, pumpkin spice, and vanilla frosting. I burned it this morning, and I actually made pumpkin cinnamon rolls while I was burning this, so I had like both smells mixing together. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. And I will say, it doesn't smell very strong of pumpkin. I can't really distinguish this versus just a warm, gooey cinnamon roll scent, but it doesn't matter because it's so good and it's so authentic and it smells truly like a cinnamon roll with cream cheese frosting. It doesn't, to me, smell like, sometimes things say that they are cinnamon roll. Like there was iced cinnamon roll body care that came out last year, and it smelled like cinnamon, but it didn't really smell like the actual baked good itself. It smelled like a cinnamon or like a cinnamon sugar, maybe frosting. But you didn't get like the buttery, yeasty sort of baked scent that this has. It's got it all. It's perfect. It's mouthwatering. It's delicious. I kind of want to get another one. So this is number 3. It's so good. All right, now number 2 is, I'm about to drop it, is Harvest Gathering. The notes are fresh picked apple. Okay, this one does have an apple note too. That's what I was wondering. Fresh picked apple, autumn berries, clove buds. So again, we've got apple and clove. It's just this one, instead of nectar, it's got the berries. It's so similar to Leaves. They actually are very similar. You could swap either one out for this place on the list. But there's something about this one that I think I prefer a little bit more than Leaves, but it is so hard for me to decide. They're both similar, that you both have this juicy fruitiness and then spiced with clove and just a warm, cozy overall feeling. It would set the ambiance for a Thanksgiving dinner perfectly, and that is when I prefer to burn this, is around Thanksgiving time in November when the weather is cooling off and you really just want it to feel very cozy inside. You've got all your pumpkins up, your harvest decorations. This is the perfect candle for that. It really is. It's just a really good, well-blended scent. It's hard to pick up the individual notes. If you tell me, I can tell that there is an apple note in there. I don't really pick up the berries specifically, but I'm sure it just gives a little bit more complexity, a little bit more fruitiness, and then the clove, which again, anything with clove in it, I love. So that just adds another amazing scent note, but this candle is such a good one. And again, if you don't like bakery, there are so many good fall options that aren't bakery scents. But the number one is probably the bakery candle to rule all bakery candles. It is the queen of gourmand candles. It is pumpkin pecan waffles. This is the candle that made me fall in love with Bath & Body Works candles because I got it. It was the year I got married, so I will always remember this. It was in 2016. And we had just moved into our apartment together and I had decorated for fall and I wanted to get a candle to kind of bring some more fall feelings. I was really getting into homemaking and stuff. And so I went up to Bath & Body Works and I got pumpkin pecan waffles and I actually bought it full price because I didn't shop their candles very often. I didn't realize how often they have sales and I didn't realize that you were never supposed to buy candles full price there because there will always be a candle sale coming up. But this was, if I was going to pay full price for a candle, this was a good one to choose because it's amazing. It had a huge throw. I loved it. And I started buying more candles after that. And then I just fell in love and the collection grew. But the notes on this are maple syrup, golden waffles, pumpkin spice, and brown sugar. And it's just the perfect gourmand fall scent. It is so warm and so rich. It's not sickly sweet. You don't get like that syrupy, gross maple syrup note that is in some candles. This one is just a little bit of maple syrup that doesn't make it sticky and off-putting, but you get a lot of this delicious golden warm buttery waffle scent. You get this nuttiness, like the pecan element to it is so good. I love like nutty scents in candles. And it's got a huge throw. It is so warm and so sweet without being sickly. And yes, I could burn this throughout the entire fall season and not get bored of it. I love it so much. So those are my top favorite fall candles from Bath & Body Works. They continue to put out really good ones, so I'm sure this list will change over time. But for now, those are the ones I picked out to share with y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what are your favorite fall candles from Bath & Body Works. I always love to hear it. I know everybody has a different perspective. Everybody's got a different nose, and everybody's got different preferences. So let me know what you guys like. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.